I should hit the record button.
Well, you could, or you could just, you know, get one of those, or you just write everything down really, really fast, like those people you see like at the courtrooms and everything.
Transcribe a podcast? Is that what you're implying?
Oh
Just hear
yes,
the clicky clacks of my keyboard constantly.
yeah, it'd be very classic, I would say. Instead of me talking about retro video games, I would talk about retro forms of recording data.
Mike went on to talk about various Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon cards. Corey talked about Call of Duty for the 18th time in a row.
Sounds like the last 10 episodes of the Level With Me podcast.
And let's not forget the meatball pizza bit.
Oh yeah, it'll be inserted at some point.
I'm a little low energy today. I'm pretty kind of calm and relaxed. It's I don't know how it is around your neck of the woods, Mike, but it's getting cold up here. So I just been bundling up in my apartment. Had a nice hot tea earlier, and that kind of really relaxed me.
Yeah, it's starting to get chillier around my neck of the woods, but I'm still fine having my iced coffees. The warm coffees in the morning definitely help wake me up. But actually, I don't have tea or coffee with me right now. I actually have I got my beer and I got my soda just to keep me awake because I'm a little tired too. Work was pretty brutal today.
Oh man, what happened? If you don't mind going into it,
It's
just a
nothing.
busy day?
Just busy. Basically, I would say things could have been planned out a bit better for today. I did a lot of running around when I wish I didn't have to do it, and I didn't get lunch today. Which I mean, I'm sure plenty of people out there miss lunch for work. It happens, but it just it happened today, so that's why I'm a little like not upset. I'm just kind of like bummed. Like, man, today was just a rough day, but I'm home. I'm trying to forget all about it. I mean, since you asked, just to kind of sum it up, I think I mentioned I'm kind of supporting this different building at work, and they're going through startup. They have all these like machines and stuff in this, pharmaceutical company that had to get basically approved to be running and make product, and we keep reaching out to vendors to help out the people who actually sold us the equipment. And again, just kind of like a lot of poor planning, and it kind of almost appears to be unprofessional, which kind of gets me bothered. When things don't get planned out, and then we end up just scrambling and rushing around to get things done, and it's not very practical and efficient, and and that gets me mad. When things happen like that.
That's it's understandable. I get that poor management can always make the workers frustrated.
Yeah. But like I said, I don't want to dwell. I don't want to dwell on it. I'm back here. I'm happy now that I'm home. Talking with my buddy Corey, so it's all good.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to bring work into this fun, wacky podcast. Whoa!
No, it's okay, man. I'm trying to do my Crush the Clown laugh.
That's kind of what I went for.
I can't do it.
All right, that's
Sound like that's his raspiness, but I can't get the laugh down. Hey! Something like that.
Do you drink coffee every day?
Yes, I do. Every morning, I have at least one cup of coffee.
And that's it? Do you ever have more than that?
During the workday, no. I actually don't have time to drink a second cup of coffee because I come to work really early. I have my coffee and then I just get right to work. I might grab a thing of water, but to actually stand in the corner and wait for the coffee to come out of the coffee machine, I just don't have the time usually during the day. And then by the time lunchtime rolls around and I get some time to myself to eat, I'm usually having a diet soda or a water or something. And then on weekends I usually have coffee in the morning with Amanda, and actually even like at nighttime sometimes I we have this like store bought like Starbucks coffee. You can buy them in like they're like these like 1 or 2 liter like jugs, and it's just cold brew Starbucks, and
Ooh,
it's
that
not bad.
stuff's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, we enjoy it. So then sometimes like if we're like sitting down watching a movie, whatever, we'll have we'll pour ourselves some iced coffee just to sip while we're watching a show or watching a movie.
So you like never have an off day, so to say. Like coffee is just in the regime.
I mean, I guess by an off day, do you mean a day when I just don't have coffee? I mean, yeah, I guess technically now it's just part of like my. It's not like part of my daily routine where like I have to have it. I just enjoy it. Like I just enjoy coffee, so I like having it.
I feel like I might have talked about this on the podcast before, but I also love coffee, and I don't know. Like I feel like I don't do necessarily well having coffee every single day. I like to take breaks, whether that be 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. But whenever I take the breaks, it's always just weird. Like I feel like my body is just like not used to it. I mean, I'm not getting enough sleep as it is, so maybe that could be another reason why I get tired from not like taking a break off of coffee the following day. But yeah, I don't. And it's not that I don't know why. I don't know. I feel like I like to take like a day off of caffeine and then go back on it. I don't know.
Yeah. Again, I think we also talked before, like how caffeine affects people differently. Like I don't really get like all hyped up when I have coffee. It kind of just wakes me up a little bit, but I don't get like that like hype that like the hyperness. I guess I don't really feel like hyper or wired, so I can have it whenever. And it's not like I need to get off caffeine.
Right.
But then again, I guess I maybe that's because I'm used to it. So maybe if I were to just like say for 5 days. Like no caffeine and see what happens. I don't know. Maybe I would have like maybe it would have like an effect on my body. We'll have to do a little science experiment and find out.
Have you ever been on like have you tried like any of the energy drinks like Red Bull, Monster?
Oh no. I mean I've tried them before. Like people have offered them to me. I think in Red Bull, I think we've even had people like make like what are those drinks called with the. Aren't Red Bulls used to make the hell? I can't think of that one drink that they make. But anyway,
they use them in mixed drinks. I've had vodka Red Bull. That's a classic.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a fancy bartender name for mixed drinks, but I don't really know any.
Yeah, like I want to say I'm sure I've had it like within like like a mixed drink or something, but it's really nothing that's gonna like like that's just like few. There's few instances, but like as far as like me drinking a Red Bull or drinking an energy drink for the sake of having it and getting like get waken up, like I've tried Monster, I've tried Red Bull, and I just think that they don't taste very good.
Okay,
maybe I think there's even like one for Mountain Dew because I love Mountain Dew, but I think there's called Mountain Dew Kickstart, and I wanted to try it because I like Mountain Dew. I figure maybe this is the energy drink that is for me, but I haven't had it yet. But so far I've not found one that I like.
Okay. Yeah, there is a plethora of energy drinks, and they just continue to, keep coming out. The ecosystem of the energy drink. You have the Monster, the Red Bull. Now there's like Bang. I know there's one that has like a helmet on it. I can't remember the name of it. There's like even Four Loko. Why not? Start the day off with a party.
Oh my gosh! So that is just complete poison.
I've never had one.
Oh well, see, I had it back back when Four Loko first came out. It was like really popular.
The original.
So I'm not sure if you heard, but like it was causing like a lot of health issues.
I heard. Yes.
Yeah. Like so, I had one back. I think before they changed the recipe or something. Now I didn't have like a heart attack like some kids were getting, but I did have it, and it just not only did it just not taste good, it was like a watermelon. Excuse me, it was like a watermelon flavor, and I'm like, I like watermelon. This must be good. And I remember drinking it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just so bad. Like, it's just a weird combination of the sugar and like the alcohol flavor. Like, it just didn't work. But I drank it, and I'm thinking, like, oh well, I paid for this. I might as well drink it and get like a good buzz. and my God, I underestimated how much alcohol was in one of those things. So I did not have a good night because I was already drinking, and then I had the Four Loko, and that pushed me over the edge, and it just upset my stomach because of all from the way it tasted and everything. Oh, never again.
I bet. Yeah, there's probably a lot of sugary syrup in those.
Yeah. Like, it's weird because I love sugary drinks, but the way like this, like the carbonation and the high and all the sugar, again and I think just the way it's mixed with alcohol, it did not work well for me at all. To not go into deep detail, it ruined my night, hands down.
Well, let's pivot away from the bad Four Loko experiences and let's pivot to some good food memories. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was very good. It was smaller than most. Well, yeah, given the year that we're in, we had a very small Thanksgiving. And some of our we were trying to host it this year at our new house, and again, I guess poor planning on my part. I didn't really ask people early enough, but I guess in the end, it didn't really matter because people were already getting their plans for New Year's, for Thanksgiving, whether they're going over someone's house or hosting it themselves. So I wanted to have like Amanda's family and my family all come over and just have it at our place. We figured we'd make it work. You can just get a couple of extra seats or whatever.
Sure.
But then given again because of the pandemic restrictions, that ended up not happening. So I did go and visit my parents on Thanksgiving, so that way I saw them and wished them happy Thanksgiving and all that. So that was nice. But then I came home. And Amanda was cooking dinner with her parents. They came over the house to help prepare dinner, and then we just had like a nice little Thanksgiving. We had dinner with her parents, so it was just the four of us.
Oh, okay.
And Leo, and it was very nice.
Did you do the whole turkey, mashed potatoes, or did you do ham?
We have a ham, and I didn't cook it. It was actually like my parents gave me like half a ham to cook. But I still have it. I think I'll probably cook it later for myself because Amanda won't eat it. We didn't have. It's funny. I don't think we had mashed potatoes. We had. It was a pretty standard, Thanksgiving dinner. It was the turkey, the cranberry sauce, the string bean casserole.
Oh, thank God! I was about to panic if you didn't have green bean casserole.
You have the casserole?
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I could just make a whole pan of that and just eat it. Yeah. Continue, though.
Yeah. It's funny. I'm not, like, that crazy about it. I mean, I think it's good. I definitely enjoy having it, but I don't get, like, all excited. Like, oh, my gosh, I have to have the green bean casserole. To me, it's like, oh, cool, I'll have that. I enjoy that over mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
That's probably just because I'm a monster.
I think it's just a really good, like, holiday side, Like, I feel like you only really have that during this like winter holiday season, like Thanksgiving and Christmas. Like that's not something I look for if you celebrate Easter and you have like an Easter dinner. It's like, oh, there's green bean casserole. It's like, no, why would no one brings that?
Yeah. Someone who brings out the pumpkin pie for Easter and then they just get slapped out of their hand, like get that out
just
of here.
A bunch of squinting, confused faces. Like what holiday is it?
Like, well, why aren't you giving us candy to eat? Supposed to be eating candy.
There should be eggs around here.
Yeah, and rabbit, some roasted rabbit.
So yeah, what were you saying? You didn't have mashed potatoes. You had the green bean casserole and the. What kind of dessert did you have? That's a big one.
We didn't have pumpkin pie, which I love, but we had pumpkin cheesecake, which was incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then we did have a hot apple pie. That was very good too.
Which one won the dessert battle in your heart?
I don't know. They're both really good, so it's good. I think it was a tie. The winner was me. So
fair enough.
Yeah. How about you, Corey? How was your Thanksgiving?
My Thanksgiving was pretty good. I had a smaller Thanksgiving. I just went to my mom's side of the family, and that was really good. I ended up making some corn souffle beforehand. That sounds way fancier than it is. It's kind of just like. Almost like a baked, like, I guess it is technically a souffle, but it's like, it's if no one knows what I'm looking or talking about, just Google corn souffle. It's like this baked, like kind of custardy thing with like corn in it. It's kind of just like a fancier version of instead of just having like regular corn, you know. And I also made some buttermilk biscuits. Those didn't turn out great. I think I over mixed the butter and the flour. It was the first time I made them, but they turned out like kind of flat. You know, I really wanted that nice, like puffy buttermilk biscuit that you think if you go down south or something like that. But yeah, it was good, and I had all the you know, my grandma and my mom pretty much made the traditional Thanksgiving dinner. You know, turkey, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, etc. My grandma made her homemade pumpkin pie, out of this world, so good. Oh, Megan made like a homemade cranberry sauce, which was really good.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to just say, the older I get, the more I really enjoy just taking a little bit of that cranberry and taking a little bit of that turkey. Just eat it together in one bite. Something about it's just good. It's good eating.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm not the biggest, like, I like cranberry, but like the cranberry sauce, I've never been crazy about it, but I will admit, like, when you kind of, like as you said, you just kind of like put it with the turkey, that nice little blend of like sweetness is pretty good on turkey.
Yeah.
That's a good word. It's savory, yes.
But other than that, I don't know about you, but I had a few days off for the holiday here. And I didn't go out on Black Friday. I technically did go out, but I didn't go to get like any deals. I just went to buy like, you know, some laundry stuff. And I got some coffee because I had off. But yeah, my weekend was pretty chill. Like I just kind of stayed at home, played a lot of like video games, and just relaxed, you know.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't go shopping either. I did some shopping online, but like I really just felt like again, I don't really care about the whole pandemic thing. Like, it's not like I'm worried about me getting sick. It's more so, I'm just not a really big fan of Black Friday and going out with all the mobs.
Right.
Now,
yeah.
Which is funny because you would think with this year it'd be quieter than usual. So maybe I should have gone out shopping and it wouldn't have been that bad.
That's what I heard. I saw there was some articles that people were saying, oh, like Black Friday sales were actually pretty low this year. And I'm like, well, I mean, that does kind of make sense. I'm sure a lot of people did do just like you and order stuff online, which I think is smart.
Yeah. I think it's sad because I don't want the holidays to die. I mean, you know, I'm calling Black Friday a holiday, but like you know what I'm saying? Like, I think Black Friday needed a hard reset, and what I mean by that is because like, it used to be just Black Friday. Like, yes, everyone might stay up late or get in line and camp out at night to get in line for a store when it opens up at like 8 a.m. on Black Friday to get all your shopping done and for all the deals, blah blah blah. And then slowly, every store kept like opening up a little bit earlier and earlier, and then it was the midnight opening.
Preach.
Yeah, but now, and up until last year, like Black Friday deals were literally like starting like on like during Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes, I hated it.
Like 2 p.m. Walmart or all the stores. Like, hey guys, we're open, and it's like this isn't Black Friday anymore.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. I can't tell you how many Thanksgivings in recent years me and Megan were driving home from my grandfather's house, and we'd pass like all the stores, you know, Target, Walmart, Best Buy, the mall. And everything was open, and everyone was out shopping. And this is at like 8 p.m. on like Thanksgiving night. And I'm like, what is this? It's not even Black Friday anymore, guys. Yeah. It's still Thanksgiving. You should be with your family. You should be having a good time. Don't worry about saving like $100 on a TV or whatever. Like,
But the deals.
I cannot agree more with you.
Yeah. And it's sad because then technically they're all out there getting all the great deals, and it's like, well, I'm sorry, I would rather spend time with my family as opposed to going out there and getting.
Not to mention, sorry to cut you off, but all the people who have to work too. Like they have to go in on Thanksgiving then, and you know all those workers, and then they got to get harassed by all the people where they're like, "Oh, I know you didn't sell out the TV. You got those TVs in the back," and it's just like, no, they don't. They sold out. Please just don't bother them.
Yeah. What do you mean you don't got any more frozen meatball pizzas? Can you check in the back?
I've actually had a lot of nice people, though, help me on Black Friday in the limited amount of times that I've gone out on Black Friday. I will never forget this day. A few years ago at this point, me and my mom and my grandma, we used to go to, like, South Carolina, Myrtle Beach for Thanksgiving, like, almost every year. And the one year when we went there, I guess it was the year when the Wii U just came out. And I told my mom, like, I kind of want to get that for Christmas. And she's like, okay. And we went shopping around. Like, we wanted to try to find it. And if you guys remember, when the Wii U came out, there were the two different SKUs. There was the black one, which came with, like, Nintendo Land, and it had, like, the bigger hard drive. And then there was the white one. I don't really know why they did that, because the white one was almost like useless. It only had like 4 gigs of like storage, where the black one had 32, which is kind of hilarious to think about. This is only like not even 10 years ago, and now the PS5 and the Xbox Series X have like about a terabyte, if not more. I digress though. So we're going around, we're looking for the Wii U, and I'm like, oh, we're probably not going to find this. Like, I'm kind of like losing hope, because I'm like, it's Black Friday. This is the year when this thing came out. And I think our last stop on trying to find one, we went to Walmart. And I remember we asked this one woman, I think she was like a manager or something, and she was just like near the electronics, and she was just like helping people out. And my mom, God bless her, she's like, hey, we're looking for the Wii U. Do you know if you guys have any more? And I think she said like, oh, I think all we got is what we have out. And the typical like response you get. And I'm just like, ah, darn. And my mom's like, are you sure you don't have any more in the back? You know, like, we've been looking all day. And I don't know what miracles this lady did. I swear she probably stole someone who like pre-ordered one, but she went in the back and she brought out the black Wii U with the Pro model with Nintendo Land. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And my mom's so happy too. I'm like, oh wow. She like made Christmas. Like, she actually had the gift. Like, it's like this never happens.
I was kind of waiting for you to make a joke where it's like, excuse me, do you have the Wii U? And there's like a tower of Wii U's behind them. Like, yes, please buy these. We have so many. Please buy them.
Yep, fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm sure that happened a lot this year with the Xbox One X and the Xbox Series X.
Oh, yes.
I got you a new console, Jimmy. Grandma, this is the Xbox One.
But it's the Xbox X. That's what you wanted, right? And then little Jimmy says, why, Microsoft, do you have a terrible naming scheme for your system?
I can't wait to see the disappointed... I mean, that happens every year, but it's going to happen again. It literally happened a few months ago when they put the pre-orders up, and Amazon's like, oh, hey, we sold a bunch of Xbox One X's, huh? Convenient.
Evil.
I'm glad that I am not as... how do I put this? I don't have a lot of passion right now to like actually hunt to get those new consoles, because I know right now it's just hell trying to find either of them. And I'm kind of happy that like I'm content with what I have in front of me, you know? I'm not actively trying to get a PS5, but if I was, I'm sure I'd be like pulling my hair out and like always being upset that I refreshed the page and put the item in my cart and it's not there. Ugh. It's a mess right now. God bless anyone out there who's trying to get a new console. It's real bad. Anywho, let me pivot. Why even get a new console? You know what, Mike? Who needs it? I got my computer right here, and I might just get back into a good old classic, you know, with the creepers and the Steves and the redstone and the pickaxes. I'm talking Minecraft. My friends might pull me back into Minecraft. I might play Minecraft again.
Don't do it, Corey. Then you get sucked in, and then I'll never hear from you again. Okay,
so they recently got this. They have their own private server, and they also have this mod pack, which is it's this mod pack that's huge that encompasses like 300 other mods and puts them all together into this, you know, into Minecraft. And I was watching my friend. He was like privately streaming the game or Minecraft with all these mods. And it's just crazy how much stuff they have in there. Like, it's just wild, all these different mods that people are putting in the game. And some are really nice, like quality of life changes. Like, for example, they add like a little mini map in the upper right hand corner, which is really convenient because in vanilla Minecraft, you have to like take out your map and look at where you are, and sometimes you have to carry around multiple different maps to actually keep track because the world is like infinite or really, really big. So it is convenient to have this little map that's always there, and you can open it up and just see everywhere, which is really neat. But then there's just crazy stuff in here. Like my friend was just mining, and he found uranium around the bottom of the game or the bottom of the map, and it's like, what do you use uranium for? Are you making nukes in Minecraft? Like what?
Maybe.
Not to mention, my other friend was saying you can make guns. So I mean, you know, just have Steve from Minecraft run around with a gun. I guess you can just shoot a creeper. That's what's up.
At this new Final Smash, he just pulls out the gun.
And then he's talking about how you can like be a mayor of like a town, and you can sell stuff to the testificates and like collect their taxes. And I'm like, what even is this game? Like, what are we doing here? I just wanted to get diamond and go to the nether, and yeah, I don't know. Minecraft's a weird game. It's crazy.
Don't play it. Play a man's game like Tetris.
Ooh, Tetris is fun. I was actually, it's funny enough you say that. I was tempted to re-download Tetris 99 because they keep adding like the special event themes, and I'm like, those are pretty neat. I'd kind of like to get some of those. Although I was not great at Tetris 99. I never got a dub. It was fun though. I do love me a good Tetris.
It's not fully for me.
Do you have anything else you want to add before we get into the podcast proper?
No, I think it's just about that time. About that time to get moving into the podcast. The nitty gritty.
Okie dokie. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Level With Me podcast, episode 73. I am one of your hosts, Corey, aka GameBro Corey. What's happening, folks? I'm shooting you finger guns. You can't see them, though, because this is an audio-only podcast. Also, I'm joined by my co-host, Mike, aka The Collector's Vault. How you doing, Mike?
Did you call yourself Pori with a P?
No, I said Corey. Maybe that's just how the mic picked it up. I don't know. I'm also tired, so maybe I just mumbled it.
Pori. Well, then you're going to have to listen to the playback and see for yourself. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Level With Me. My name is Mike, and I am tired, just like Corey, or Pori, as I'm going to start calling him for the rest of this episode. It's good to be back. It's good to be talking about video games, and I'm curious what topics we have for today.
Oh boy, Mike, let me tell you, this week has been dry as a bone. A lot of the news articles I was looking at this week were all focused on Black Friday deals, Cyber Monday deals, Sick Saturday deals, Sacred Sunday deals. You know, video game news right now, little barren. So we don't have a lot here. This might be a shorter podcast. That's all I'm gonna say. But I got a few here that we're gonna talk about. You know, the first one. Not really related to video games, but I think we can comment on this one. I think this could be fun. So,
oh, Lord.
Everyone on the internet loves to be outraged about things, and this week the internet is outraged at the live-action recreation of Clifford, a.k.a. one Clifford the Big Red Dog, as there was a teaser trailer showcasing, I guess, what he's going to look like. Which, to put in layman's terms, he's basically just a red Labrador Retriever, I believe, is the dog breed. And that's it. Like, he's just a hyper-real, like, just real dog. Like, there's no cartoony aspect or charm to it. And I'm going to be honest, folks, this does nothing to me. Like, I don't really care about Clifford. This doesn't really make me upset. It seems a little lazy, in my opinion, but what are your opinions, Mike? How do you feel about this?
Well, I can honestly say I'm also not a Clifford fan, so it's not like I'm upset about this portrayal of him. As a kid, I watched it, you know, the cartoon, and I would say this is one of those moments where it's like they might as well just make a cartoon version of this and make that the movie, because again,
I think that'd be way cooler.
Live action adaptations are just so tough. Like they're the good ones are very few and far between, and that goes for like cartoons that are turned to live action, video games or TV animes, cartoons that are given live action, adaptations. Like rarely do they work. I mean, just look at the Dragon Ball Z movie or Dragon Ball Evolution, and that's like the benchmark for try. It's really easy to be better than that. That being said, yeah, I think like if they really want to do with like live action people and do like a Looney Tunes and not Looney Tunes, well, like the Space Jam thing, where like okay, like there's real getting so upset here, I'm gargling. There's a realistic human and they have a giant cartoon dog, or like kind of like that old Disney movie Pete's Dragon. You ever see that?
Yeah, or like Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly. I think that's probably the better approach. But making him like just a giant red, like realistic dog, which I'm sure it's going to talk. I mean, I'm not going to play this trailer. I think I can better spend my time on something else. But I have a feeling like it's just going to be weird having. Yeah, I mean, it's going to just be like I'm sure kids will like it. But I think that's kind of the thing. Like, this is definitely not one of those adaptations where, like, 30-year-old me is like, oh, I love Clifford. It's more like, well, no, Clifford's, like, intended for kids.
That's all.
Kids will watch. Point. Yeah, kids will watch it. Parents will be like, oh, I know Clifford, so let's go have my kid watch it. But it's not like the parents are going to be upset. They're going to go, no, that's not the Clifford I grew up with. It's like, yeah, whatever. So I'm sure they'll get over it pretty quickly. And I'm sure kids will like it. Because who doesn't like a big, big puppy dog?
Yeah, I know. He's very cute. He's going to sell a lot of toys. Let's just put it that way.
And also, I will say this. I do not want to be the one who has to pick up after him. I kind of feel bad for the girl in the old cartoon. Like, remember what her name is, but when he has to go to the bathroom, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, what do you do at that point? You have to get, like, one of those, like, Caterpillar, like, scooping trucks,
Yeah, or just wait till the circus is in town and get the guy who does the elephant dung and just have him do it. Hey, buddy, I'll pay you $5 an hour to pick up this dog poo.
All right, we're gonna retract a little bit from there. How much does Clifford eat? Because that's got to be a couple bills too. He's a big guy, and he's like a puppy now. Like puppies eat a lot.
Yeah, it's true. I'm not sure what they're feeding him. Maybe they're feeding him the children that don't get along at school.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So then I'd be like, okay, maybe I'll give this movie a shot if they're gonna have Clifford eating not just like comics like, oh, he's fine, he drinks enough water.
They make it super dark. All right, sir. Excuse me. All right, convict number 628. You have two options. You can either take the electric chair or eaten by a big dog.
And then be like, I don't know. Then they'll say, did we mention that he's red? I'll take the dog. And then they get eaten.
Who would think that Texas would legalize Clifford eating, dog eating? Guys, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Better yet, what if it's like a Hunger Games thing where it's like they drop off convicts in the woods and then they just unleash a big red dog that come chasing after them. And then people watch it on TV for entertainment, trying to see if they can survive being in the woods with Clifford.
All I'm saying is I really hope that there's a Godzilla versus Kong versus Clifford coming to theaters soon.
I think King Kong and Godzilla are going to need more help. They might need Gardola, whatever that three-headed dragon's his name is, too. Ghidorah. They need his help to take on Clifford.
Yeah, Clifford's a pretty strong opponent. He can talk.
Yeah, his final smash is he just, pees acid on you.
Also, I love that the article states this, it's scheduled to open in theaters on November 5th if movie theaters are still a thing by then. I hope they are. I don't want movie theaters to go. I love movie theaters.
It is funny because recently I've been seeing like a few good commercials and stuff about like, oh, in theaters now. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Are theaters open? Because, again, I would love to go to the movie theaters. Just they're all closed. So I don't know why the commercial. I think the people who are doing the commercials just keep forgetting to change it. It's like, oh, because you can't. Because they're all like, what else can you say? Like, in theaters now, but watch it on Disney Plus or one of those things. I hope movie theaters open back up again.
Me too. Speaking of things that we all used to love, WWE's Xavier Woods joins G4 as a new host. So we mentioned a few weeks ago how G4 was like teasing some sort of return. And over the past few days, they announced one of the new hosts will be WWE's Xavier Woods. Or I believe his YouTube group is called Up Up Down Down. I forget. I know he does like Twitch, and he also has a YouTube group. It's probably in this article here. But let's read some more of it. WWE superstar Xavier Woods, a.k.a. Austin Creed, has been announced as the first on-air talent for the rebooted G4, and IGN was able to sit down with Creed and G4's head of content, Kevin Sabe. You looking at this? Am I saying it right?
I think it's Sabe. Sabe.
I'm just going to start asking you because I can't pronounce words.
I think it's pronounced Kevin Sabe.
Oh, okay. That he must be from Mexico. To talk about Woods' new role and vision for the network. Woods, whose wrestling renown is matched by his love of gaming, made a surprise appearance at last week's G4 reunion special. The reunion included former talents Kevin Pereira, Morgan Webb, Adam Sessler, Olivia Munn. But the real stinger is that Woods will be the G4 going forward as one of the new hosts for the revamped network. Also, it just like warms my heart as a old school guy, just seeing all those folks sitting next to each other. That's great. I'm excited to see this. I like Xavier Woods or Austin Creed, whatever he goes as. I don't know kayfabe or wrestling. I have no idea about that stuff. But this is cool. That's all I want to say. It's cool.
Yeah. I'm just happy G4's back or trying to come back, you know.
Right, yeah. All right. I know G4 is related to video games, but you guys actually want some video game news, okay?
We want real video game news.
And like I said, it's a very light week, so bear with me. There's not too much here to talk about, unfortunately. And again, unfortunately, we have to start with some bad news here. Cuphead DLC, The Delicious Last Course, delayed again. Studio MDHR has announced that the Delicious Last Course DLC for Cuphead has been delayed until sometime next year. In a statement published on Studio MDHR's Twitter account, developers shared that they aren't content for the final chapter to be anything less than our best work. As such, the studio has made the difficult decision to delay the content. You know, I mean...
Time to riot! Time to riot!
It just... 2020 takes another toll, you know? Many, many delays have happened. I just saw this one and I was just like, first of all, oh, right, they're still making Cuphead DLC. And I was like, dang, that game came out in 2018. Granted, it's been trickling on other consoles. It came out on the Switch a year or two ago, and then it just actually recently came to PS4. But yeah, I would like to check this out at some point. Cuphead's great. I also want this studio to take as much time as you need. You know, they hand draw like all the sprites in this game. Like, it's kind of understandable that it's taking a lot of time, especially with COVID. They might not, you know, however that affects their workflow. But yes, now the Riot section, I'll leave to you, Mike.
Whatever. Yeah, it is a shame. I mean, again, like I was gonna make a really crude joke, and it might be one of those. Like, oh, too soon jokes. I was gonna say, oh my gosh, first 2020 takes Cuphead. What's next? Is Kobe Bryant gonna be killed? Oh, I'm going to hell.
Hey, Cuphead got in Smash. All right, he's doing something.
The
real travesty is Mugman isn't in Smash. Come on, Sakurai.
To be fair, I think that would be an amazing inclusion, even though it's not like he's like an original Nintendo character.
Well, what do you mean? He is in Smash. They added him as like a Mii fighter costume.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. I excuse me. I stand corrected. However, he's not a fighter. It's kind of like Shovel Knight. And don't get me wrong, it is a really big deal that Shovel Knight's in the game as a assist trophy, but it's like, come on, why can't I play as Shovel Knight or Plague Knight or King Knight or all the other knights in that game? Why not?
I'm honestly super happy and like just proud that Nintendo actually put so many different like indie game characters into Super Smash Brothers, considering it is like I feel like a very pristine like, oh, these are like the video game like mascots from the beginning of video games. But yeah, they put in Shovel Knight, there's the Cuphead Mii outfit, there's the Sans Mii outfit. They even have like, well, never mind. I was gonna say Vault Boy, but that's not a indie game. But yeah, like I think it's really cool that all that stuff is in there, you know?
Oh yeah, I totally agree.
Anywho, I'd love to see this guy in Smash. Wink, wink. Also, we're ready at our favorite part of the segment, or our news here, all the Nintendo news, because like I said, this is a super light news week.
My favorite, actually, that a bit of a spoiler. That is, I mean, although it is a shame it's a smaller podcast. On the bright side, I have a way to compensate for that. But we'll get there soon. Let's continue with the Nintendo news.
Ooh, I love me a good secret. Okay.
Secret.
But yes, right off the bat here, I'm sure this is exciting news for you, Mike.
Oh yes.
Doom Eternal Switch release date revealed. Bethesda has revealed when Doom Eternal is finally coming to Nintendo Switch. It's December 8th. That's a week from now. Crazy. The Switch version of Doom Eternal has been created in partnership with Panic Button, the studio who previously helped bring Doom 2016, Wolfenstein 2, and Wolfenstein Youngblood to Switch. Available only as digital download, no physical edition is being produced or planned. The game will take up 18.8 gigabytes of storage space on the Switch. It will be available on the eShop from midnight Eastern Time.
Until 6 months later, and then it'll get taken down.
Nah, Doom guy, he doesn't have the pristine of Mario or Marth that they have to vault their content like that.
That's cool. And it's funny, like I kind of wish I gave Wolfenstein and the ones that were like the more recent ones, like 2 and Youngblood, and I kind of wish I gave them a shot. They look like really cool games too. And I heard the ports again done by Panic Button were very well done.
I never got around to playing Youngblood. I do own it, but I do want to say that that new like Wolfenstein era, like oh gosh, what was the first game called? The New Order, and then New Colossus is technically the sequel. Those games are great. They have a fantastic story, and the gameplay is also a lot of fun.
That's what I hear. I mean, the game just looks great too. Like,
yeah.
So I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah, and it's something like completely different than Doom. You know, like with it being that like, oh, like the Nazis like took over the world, and it's kind of this like interesting take on that. And it almost has like this like Fallout vibe where it's like we kind of advanced like with technology way earlier. So there's like the mechs and the laser weapon. It's super cool.
Kind of like how the Fallout universe has like technology just advanced very quickly, despite the fact that it has like the 50s aesthetic. That's why I like about the Wolfenstein the Wolfenstein aesthetic is where like everything still feels like it's in World War II, but technology is like, as you said, is like it has advanced. So it's pretty neat. I just think that's a really cool design to look at. I mean, I think a lot of people like that aesthetic, like the 40s and the 50s aesthetic of like the darker shades of color and everything. Like a lot of people always make that joke. Oh, I wish I was born in the 40s and the 50s. As I just laugh and think, oh, I guess you enjoy the Cold War and World War II. All right, fine, whatever. but yeah, like I think overall it is a really cool aesthetic. So I think just even like as like a concept, like the Nazis actually winning World War II and taking over the world, that's like fascinating. Not saying I would want it to happen. It's just it'd be insane to live in like a dystopia like that. I think it's just, again, it's fascinating. So a game based on that with a story in that world sounds really cool. Maybe one day I'll give it a shot.
Mike, I don't mean to flaunt my gamer card here, but when I do play games like that or Doom, I generally will play on the hardest difficulty. And let me tell you, those games don't mess around, dude. They are intense on the hardest difficulty. I vividly remember one segment in Wolfenstein, the New Colossus, where I was just stuck on it for like a day or two. Like I just was playing the one part. And Megan was even saying, like, you should probably just, like, lower the difficulty or, like, because I was starting to get, like, really mad at it because I was like, this is so hard. Like, they don't give you enough, like, armor or health. Like, it's hard. I finally did get past it, but it was really, it's crazy.
Me and my brother would do that. We would, whenever, like, back when Halo was first coming out, we would always try to beat Halo on, like, heroic or no, legendary.
Yeah.
Legendary, yeah. And it was always impossible. Like, it was just so much, it was, like, that challenge of just trying to beat this, like, impossible difficulty was always fun.
It really, like, alters the gameplay a lot when you play on those difficulties because it kind of almost makes, like, you ineffective and the enemies way more effective. So you're like, oh, I have to, like, slow down and actually, like, make every bullet count and, like, kind of, like, figure out what I should do. Like, oh, I should take cover over here and then throw the grenade at this enemy, you know?
Yeah. Basically, it's like, how can I break this game? Like, okay, well, if I can, like, glitch through this wall, I can sniper rifle all the hunters and the elites.
Yeah.
or as
There's
you said,
too.
Or just properly time your grenades and just, like, hope that it does like a big enough of a blast radius to kill everybody. Because like if you just try to go like gung ho, like no, you'll die within the first 2 seconds. And I enjoy that difficulty spike with that because like when I just play casually, I kind of just run around and just kind of like goof off and I'll still beat everybody. But then with this is like no, you better like you have to be tactical and as you said, you gotta like watch your ammo count, watch all of the health that's available because it's so limited. So it's a fun little challenge.
And you have to, like, utilize everything you find. Like, if you're just playing on, like, a normal difficulty, you'll kind of just get in a groove and find, like, maybe your 2 favorite weapons and be like, okay, I like how the shotgun and I like how the SMG feels. I'm just going to run around with these 2. But when
and just cruise through the game with just those alone,
Exactly. But yeah, when you're playing on the harder difficulties, it's like, okay, I need to use this pistol because I ran out of ammo for my shotgun, and it's like, oh, I hope I have enough bullets to take out this enemy so I can get his gun, and then
and then you find a rocket launcher, and it's like, okay, I only have one shot with this. how the hell I'm going to get past this army with just one shot?
Hopefully, I don't blow myself up with this.
Yeah, which I have done plenty of times. Stupid glitching.
Oh, fun times. I love a good challenging video game.
Oh yes.
Not really. Oh. I was going to segue to the next story. Were you going to say something?
I was going to say, like, I have been meaning to replay Doom 2016 because that also gets pretty challenging. And maybe I'll try to play that on the hardest difficulty as I wait for Doom Eternal to come out.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm probably just going to play Doom Eternal.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I kind of lost the segue. I don't really have one.
Nintendo stuff. There we go. Perfect segue.
So a few days ago, Nintendo, or maybe it was Universal Studios Japan, released a very small trailer kind of just showing off more Super Nintendo Land and announcing its official opening, which is, I believe it said February 4th of next year. And, we've looked at pictures and stuff of this theme park area before, but now you kind of get like a really nice, like, first, like, high def look at a decent amount of the park. Not too much. They don't go in depth to the ride or all the little, like, shops or restaurants, but I think this is really cool. I really enjoy the entrance to the Bowser's Castle, like, Mario Kart ride. And there's kind of this, like, really cool staircase with this giant Bowser statue at the top. It's really neat.
Yeah. I like it. I think it's pretty neat. I think it's just immersive. I think it makes you feel like I'm actually in like Bowser's Castle because I don't know. It's pretty neat. Even just seeing like the line or like where the where you get into like the go-karts or whatever. It looks like something straight out of like a Disney World ride, But just the fact that it's all Mario and all Nintendo, oh, I love it. I can't wait.
I think I might have pointed this out when they showed another trailer, but I just love like all the attention to detail. Like I love how the coins like spin. Like that's how it looks in like the new Super Mario Brothers style. And I'm like, it's just like such a small thing, but it really does like I could only imagine being there. It would really immerse you.
Yeah. Even just seeing like the piranha plant and the thwomps.
Yeah, and like the Goombas and the Koopas are just walking around. There's even like a spinning shell like in between a pipe and a little brick. I just keep noticing new stuff as I'm just like looking at this little video. It looks great. I'm very excited for when they actually make this down in old Universal Studios, Florida.
Yeah, bring us the United States version, please.
It looks real cool. I'm also very excited for when this actually opens up. I'm sure I'm gonna watch like just someone's like first person like walk through the park.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of YouTubers are gonna be like, "Oh, look, we're going to Nintendo Land," and we're just gonna they'll kind of go through it like park by park.
I'm also a big fan of like first person like go on a theme park ride to experience the ride.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm a little bit of a chicken. I kind of want to know what I'm stepping into with some of these rides. And me and my girlfriend did that like right before we went to Disney a few years ago. And yeah, it made us like both a little bit more comfortable on which rides we wanted to go on. And, I like that stuff. I think it's cool. All right. Last but not least, there was a somewhat big Nintendo Switch update. And it had some cool new features. A new Nintendo Switch firmware update has gone live, and version 11.0.0 adds several quality of life improvements that are actually meaningful. Features like finally being able to transfer videos and screenshots to a computer. Firmware 11.0.0 has pushed live today, and a big focus on today's update involves getting your screenshots and gameplay capture off of the Switch and onto another device directly, either through a USB cable or wireless transfer. To access this, users can connect their Switch to a computer using a USB cable, go to System Settings, then Data Management, and finally to manage screenshots and videos. There is now also a feature that will automatically download saved data backup on the cloud to multiple Switch consoles, granted that the same Nintendo account is linked to each device. However, the save data must already exist on each console, so you'll still need to manually download the save data onto a second device first before being able to utilize this feature. And there were a couple other things that they added. There's like a trending feature in the user page. I think that's
cool.
From your friend group. Yeah, it like shows like different things they're looking at or games they're playing. I know they added like a few new like user icons, which is always fun. They're all themed around like the 35th Mario anniversary, so there are various different like Marios throughout the era, which is neat. It's not a huge story, but it's always interesting to see like the updates to, the new consoles. But other than that, that's it, man. That's all the news I got for this week.
No, that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Man. Nah, it's okay.
So should we just transition into our second segment in the podcast?
Oh, I think it's not a bad idea. Would you mind if I go first?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Yeah, just because I unfortunately do not have too much to talk about, but I have a little bit to talk about. But I rather let you get more of the airtime.
Not at all. Take it away.
So what I've watched and played. For what I've watched, unfortunately, I haven't really been watching anything crazy and new. Been
That's
watching more of that show.
Man.
Yeah. It's funny because it was a long weekend with Thanksgiving, but I didn't have time to really like sit down and like watch or play anything. I was too busy like getting ready for the holiday and spend time with family, and it was just, again, you would think with a 4-day weekend I would have time to do so much. It just did not happen.
hey, sometimes you don't have time to actually watch and play stuff. You gotta like do other things, or like you said, just spend time with people. I get it.
Yeah. But I was able to watch a few more episodes of Schitt's Creek, and again, the show's really good, really funny. They're doing a really good job adding like more characters, or at least like more like recurring characters, and yeah, again, the show is just as good as ever. I actually did decide to go back and rewatch season 1, because I remember when Amanda first had me watch the show, I thought, oh, this show is like okay, like it has my attention. I'll see where it goes, and then it really got better over time. But then I realized, well, now that I love the show now, let me see if I can just kind of like take a pause, go back and rewatch a couple of the first couple episodes, and like just to see if I appreciate it more. And I will admit, I actually do. I pick up more. I pick up on more of the jokes now. They actually make a lot of references to things that happen later in the show. So that was kind of cool, going back and and noticing that. Like one of the examples is as kind of like I mentioned I think last week, is that the show's about rich people who then like lose everything, so they have to live like normal lives, or basically the lives of people who are like living in poverty. And eventually they were able to salvage like a gigantic painting of their family, and this painting is like 30 feet long and like 20 feet tall. Like it's just massive. Right? Yeah. It's the kind of painting that you see like in the giant foyers of mansion. But the joke was they got it, and they're trying to fit that into their little like motel room. That was kind of like the joke. And then when I was rewatching episode 1, when they're like talking to their lawyer and like the living room where all like the repo guys are like taking all their stuff out of their house, the giant picture was actually there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that when I first watched the show.
I love me a good callback.
Yeah, I love those little things, and it just shows like, oh look, they did tie this all together. Like that was kind of nice. So yeah, I've been watching that. Watched more Below Deck yesterday. That was the next new episode. My God, that show just it makes me want to. I think I said before, it makes me want to quit my job and go be a yachty. I'm gonna go swap the deck of a yacht and just make bank.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah,
let's both do that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how about you and I will sign up for the next season, and then if we both get in it, we'll be on the yacht. We'll both be deckhands.
Decking around with Corey and Mike. That could be the podcast name.
Oh my gosh, perfect. only for that year, because obviously it won't make sense later when we're no longer on.
Yeah. We'll make all our millions, and we'll come back, and we'll live in our mansions, and
Sounds like a plan. But we have to be careful, because if we're going to be working as deckhands on one of these yachts, I really hope, like two very non-single guys like you and me, I really hope they don't have any of those really attractive the stewards that are serving people drinks and food.
I don't think we need to worry about that. What happens below deck stays below deck.
Yeah.
Right?
Sadly, I think one of the biggest parts of the show that people love is that there's
always... I can only imagine.
Yeah, and it's funny because that's like, and that's kind of why I enjoyed the show, is because like it's so like eye-opening. It's eye-opening to think, my God, like on these, like not just these yachts, but then like on the big cruise ships, like all of the crew are just getting in all these like relationships and everything, and like, yeah, and the guests are none the wiser. You think that's just the ocean water splashing up against the hulls of the ship? No. That's there's some rocking going down, and you know what they say. When that boat's rocking, people are doing it.
Guys, there's only so many holes they can plug up below deck. I mean, they gotta plug them all,
Oh my God! Core to the hole in the ship. Do something. Oh, I got it.
I'm on it.
All right, now what do I do? Just stay there for the rest of the cruise. Oh.
Some reason I just thought of that like moment in Vegas Vacation where he's at like the dam and he's trying to plug up all those little you got like bubble gum and I don't know.
Oh my gosh, that's bad.
What else you got? You got Schitt's Creek, you got Below Deck.
Yes, what else? Watch The Mandalorian
Oh man, Mike, I am so behind. I'm seeing huge, crazy spoilers that are making me upset.
No, I won't spoil anything for you.
I know one big one that I won't say either, but yeah, I really need to watch.
Yeah, I will say this again. This would be spoiler free, but I will say that the last episode was very good. I enjoyed it a lot. However, and I have to make sure I emphasize this. I do get a little bit worried that this show is getting very busy, and what I mean by that is like season 1 was pretty like simplified. Okay, we met Mando, we met Baby Yoda, a couple side characters here and there, but basically it was kind of like I mentioned, it's like a space cowboy show. Like you go episode to episode, and then in the end, the last 2 episodes were very plot driven regarding the baby and all that stuff. Cool. Now, this season has been doing a lot of, as I've been kind of describing it, they've been planting a lot of plot seeds. Where like every episode, although some of them, like a couple here and there, might be like, oh, just like a random the monster of the week episode. A lot of them are actually like, yeah, they're introducing a lot of characters, whether they're brand new characters or they're like recurring characters, especially from the Clone Wars series. And that's kind of what some people were kind of complaining about, saying like unless you watched the Clone Wars, you're going to be kind of like the casual fans. You're like, oh, who's this person? Are they brand new? But then Clone Wars fans are like, no, that's so and so from episode 3 of Clone Wars and all that stuff. So they're doing a lot of that. Again, me being a fan of Clone Wars, I love it, and it kind of makes me just think, oh my gosh, like what's gonna happen next? But then, as I mentioned, I'm worried that this season's getting very busy because they keep planting all these seeds and like, oh, they're bringing this character back, or they're bringing this character back, and we're going to learn more about this character. But then we get like teased, and we don't get there yet. So every episode seems to be like they're just kind of like slowly touching and dipping their toes in the water with bringing back these characters, and like and so. What I'm hoping is that they do eventually address them all throughout the show and like touch base on them, give each of these people their own episode as opposed to like just teasing us. However, the last episode did actually get very good with character development at the very least, and so now it's like okay, now the show's actually going somewhere. So that's the best way I can describe it without it being spoiler heavy. So
I'm gonna say I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about. That's the spoiler. I know.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to say that does worry me. What you're saying about like how they're putting a lot of these like plot seeds for later, because I do agree with you. I hope they didn't just be like, okay, we're gonna make this first season kind of like very like broad and not specific, just to see like test the waters, see if people like this. And then kind of almost make it more like very busy, like you're saying now, because they're like, okay, people do like this. Like we can add way more stuff to it, where some people aren't looking for that. And I did personally really like that first season. I mean, it could be kind of telling that I'm behind. I'm like 2 or 3 episodes behind with this season. I don't know if it's just because there's a lot going on in the year 2020, and there's also a lot of other content I'm looking at right now, but
maybe
I'm going to continue to watch the show. But before you move on to what games you've been playing or other shows you've been watching, I just wanted to share this little article I thought was funny. Well, it's not really an article, but I sent you a picture. When I was looking for news stories, I found one that said like Star Wars Darksaber toy, worst selling toy of 2020, and I was just like, what? Like, what even is that? And, I mean, this is a slight spoiler for those who haven't watched The Mandalorian, the first season, but there's a character at the end who actually ends up, like, pulling out a Darksaber, which is essentially just a lightsaber, but it's black that's its color, instead of, like, red or blue or whatever. And, again, I saw this toy article, I'm like, huh, that's weird, like, what does it look like? I'm like, because I actually own a few of the like old like lightsaber toys where you kind of like flick them and they come out. And I'm like, those are kind of fun and neat. It's not a great toy, but I'm like, how do they mess this up? And I Google search Star Wars Darksaber toy, and I'm greeted to this thing, which is, I mean, it's basically, it almost looks like a katana. Like it's just this like very boring, like basic light gray metal hilt with this like very flat, dull, like black with a white outline. I don't know. It's just like you can tell they put like no money into this. I bet this item costs like $20 and makes some cool noises when you fling it around.
Well, now I'm curious because the Darksaber, again, it is a Clone Wars thing, and technically it is
you're right.
Rebels as well.
It is. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Again, there is plot behind this thing, which is why it's awesome that it's back in the show. I'm trying to find the toy that you're talking about, like the actual picture. Because again, in the imagery that you just showed me, it looks like a concept art thing. So it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like maybe that's what the commercial shows you. But I'm trying to see like
I'm pretty sure that's pretty much what the toy is. The image I sent you.
Okay, but now I see it. Like I'm looking at the one actual. Like I'm looking at like a list of it on this website called Big Bad Toy Store. And yeah, the actual outline of the toy is white, which is interesting. I guess because the toy's like the blade is black, so I guess to make it stand out. And I think even in the TV show, it did have like a white aura around it, or like a white outline. So it basically is just like a black katana, like a black laser sword katana. I think it looks pretty cool. Maybe I'm just saying that because for nostalgia reasons. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't really dig it. I don't really know how they could have made it better, but I don't know. It looks like super cheap. I don't know. It just yeah.
Maybe it is super cheap. Maybe if I smack I'll smack Amanda with it. If it breaks, I'll let you know. I'll be like, oh my god, what a cheap toy.
What if you smack her and it actually, like, you chop off one of her arms? Maybe it's a real dark saber. I don't know. Be careful.
Then at that point, I'm going to go quit my job and become a new... I'm going to go become the leader of the Empire now if I have the Darksaber. That's very... that has nothing to do with the story. I'm just being...
Well, you have to get in line because there's about 100 8-year-olds who also are trying to become... All right, but that was a tangent. Did you watch anything else or play some games?
I did play some games. So... nothing that's like really crazy. I kind of just played some more good old Super Mario World with Mr. Gabriel Corey here, and I think we had a pretty good time. We actually made a lot of progress. We got through 2 whole worlds in one play session, which is nice. We got through the Forest of Illusion. Wait, what was it called? The Forest of Illusion.
Yep.
And then we got through good old tasty Chocolate Island.
Oh yes, I love those little dino guys. They're great.
Yeah. They're strange. As you said, they're kind of like Pokemon. Because there's like a big version and a little version.
Reznor. Still one of the weirdest things.
Yeah. Yeah, bring back Reznor, Nintendo. Right. Or at the very least, can you... I mean, I know it's like people look at it now as if it was like the lazy way out, but I will admit, I kind of wish like the dungeons or the fortresses of all the Mario games had different mini-bosses. Kind of like even in Mario Brothers 3... It was always that one guy with the spike shell. I think his name's actually called Boom Boom. So it's always Boom Boom.
Yeah, Boom Boom's been in other games.
He is. I think he was in like the new Super Mario Brothers and everything. Yep. But like he was always the mini boss in all those fortresses. And in Super Mario World, it was always 4 Triceratops on a spinning carousel shooting fireballs at you.
And it just says Reznor on the spinning carousel.
I guess it's supposed to be like intimidating, like here I am, it's me, Reznor.
And saying the word Ferris wheel is very like kind. It's literally just a bunch of pieces of plywood, and it looks like someone spray painted the word Reznor on there in red paint.
Yeah, it's to be edgy.
Okay.
Anyway,
all I'm saying is Bowser did not give Reznor a lot of money. He had big plans. He wanted to make it as really cool, dynamic Ferris wheel where everyone has private rooms and they have their own little mini bars. But Bowser's like, this is all you're gonna get, guys. I'm sorry. I got a lot of castles I gotta make.
Yeah.
Bowser is the 1%. Okay? I've seen Mario World. I've seen a lot of it. And I keep getting teased by this like city Las Vegas style Bowser Kingdom. Bowser's keeping all the money for himself. He's making his own area really super dope, while these Reznor guys are on these like they're about to fall off in the lava. Like Mario doesn't even have to do anything. They're just like whoa, like it's shaky.
Yeah. I bet all the other Koopa kids get all like nice allowances and everything, and Reznor's like, Bowser, can we please have some bread? And he's like, no, get back to your dungeon with your wooden carousel. That's probably going to break in any minute now.
I'm going to have a good segue, speaking of Cooper kids, later. But you keep going.
Oh, well, I'm all done, unfortunately. I really wanted to get back to playing Zelda the Minish Cap. It's like on my to-do list, and I just haven't had time to do it. And getting very... antsy. Like I want to play that game, and I want to get more content ready for the channel. So that's on my to-do list. So anyway, Corey, how about you? What have you been watching and playing this week?
Well, Mike, thank you. In terms of what I've been watching, I'm kind of there with you. Like I haven't really been watching too much that I can talk about. Me and my girlfriend watched a few episodes like Impractical Jokers. We watched some like, I think it's called Sugar Rush. It's like a Christmas baking competition on Netflix. So, we like to watch those like cooking competition shows.
I thought you were referring to that good old candy racing video game at the arcade. That's so popular.
Yeah, there's always Rush. Yeah, Wreck-It Ralph appears in it all the time. It's like a weird glitch.
Glitch, I get it.
But the one thing I did want to point out is, I think I mentioned this last podcast that I completed JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4, and I was trying to like figure out what my next show or anime I was going to start was going to be. So I have a small story about this. I was going to watch this anime called Darling in the Franxx. It's from like the people who made Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill. I think they're called like Studio Trigger. I usually really enjoy their art style. Like it's kind of very like over the top and sharp and crisp.
Yeah. I do like the Gurren Lagann art style, so I can kind of picture that in my head right now.
Right. And when I sometimes, well, I'll just say I like to watch all my anime on my big TV in my living room. I usually don't watch a lot of content like that, like movies or series on my monitors up here. I'll usually just watch YouTube or Twitch. So naturally, I'll go to just all the streaming platforms like Netflix, Hulu, and surprisingly enough, a lot of these places have a decent amount of anime. I know Crunchyroll is like the head of just anime, but these other platforms, they do have a somewhat decent selection. So I knew that Hulu had Darling in the Franxx, so I'm like, okay, I'll go start this series there. And I go to I selected on their whatever you call it, the browser, and I noticed that the first episode starts at episode 13, which is halfway through the episodes. There's 26. And I'm like, that's weird. And I'm like scrolling through them, and each of the episodes are doubled. There's a sub and a dub. And I'm like, hold up. If you multiply 13 by 2, that's 26. So for some reason, Hulu only has like the second half of the series. And I'm just like, I'm scratching my head. Like, I don't understand this at all. I don't know why it's like this. But I guess I'm not watching this series right now because I definitely can't start in the middle of the series. So I put that on the back burner. And I actually ended up going over to Crunchyroll because that's where I can watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5. So yes, I just decided to continue watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which I'm perfectly fine with because I'm going to be honest, this is slowly turning into one of my favorite animes of all time, if not my favorite anime. I'm really enjoying it. I really, really like this show. But also, another little story here. Me and my girlfriend, we bought like a new TV around the beginning of the quarantine pandemic. And it was on sale, and it was a little cheap, and it was a smart TV. And we've always been having like some issues with it where it seems like kind of sluggish or some of the apps on there don't perform too well. And we're like, this is strange. Or even like our Bluetooth won't properly connect to our TV. So we've kind of just like assumed like, oh, well, now we realize why this TV was super cheap. It's probably because it's not a great quality smart TV in terms of like whatever the components are inside. And I can facilitate that argument even more where just trying to use the Crunchyroll app on my smart TV, it was abysmal. It would take forever to load, and Crunchyroll made my smart TV crash several times.
I've never heard that happen for TVs before.
I know.
I will admit, I've just for the very first time ever used my new TV downstairs as a smart TV where I use that to link to like all the apps and everything, like Disney Plus or Netflix, etc., etc. And I think there are some times where I feel like the TV is very slow, and I think it's kind of strange that why is it so slow? It's like a TV from 2017. But anyway, I'm shocked to hear that it actually made the TV crash, like as if it's a computer. I mean, basically it is, if it's a smart TV, but still, that's still pretty funny.
And with this was really frustrating me because I was just trying to watch, the first episode, and basically what would happen is it would load to a certain point and then just cut off, and like the app would essentially crash, and I'd go back to my smart TV home screen. And I'm like, well, this is unacceptable. I guess my only option is, hey, load up Crunchyroll on my PS4. And I also learned, I was listening to a couple podcasts where they were talking about like the next gen consoles. And apparently like all the apps run really well on the next gen consoles like Netflix, Hulu and stuff. And
Well, that's good.
I'm like, that makes sense. Because if you think about it, a smart TV probably doesn't have the same kind of internal components of a console, not even current gen, which is the PS5 and stuff, but like, yeah, like the PS4. I'm like, that does make a lot of sense. So now whenever I'm going to use any streaming service app, I think I'm just going to turn my PS4 on and just refuse to use my smart TV's built-in apps because they run better on the PS4 I have hooked up. And let me tell you, I have no problems using Crunchyroll on my PS4. It's been perfectly fine.
It kind of makes sense. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. I get it.
That's just a public service announcement to anyone out there. I mean, it's also just it might just be the TV I got. It might just not be a great quality TV. But yeah.
I think Vizio's going to be knocking at your door thinking, all right, Corey, open up. We're here to take you in.
Hey, if anyone wants...
bad mouthing our TVs.
If anyone wants to sponsor the podcast and send me a good smart TV, the email address is down below. You know where to find us. But yes, long story, I started JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5, which is called Golden Wind. And it's really cool. I'm really digging it so far. So this season seems like way different compared to the last season, where looking at the grand scheme of these different parts of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I feel like the last season was kind of this almost like spin-off little side story, and it seems like this current season I'm watching, Part 5, is more like getting back into the meat and potatoes of what actually JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is about, which is it's kind of fascinating. Like I'm kind of like, oh, okay. And it's a little strange, too, because it seemed like the Part 4, the previous season, was a little more lighthearted and like fun, where this one, it's got that weird JoJo style, but it's also like, oh, it's a little more serious now. And I'm really digging it. Basically, the gist of this season is the main character has been like, he's kind of had like a horrible life, like growing up as a little kid. And he basically wants to join a gang and become a gang leader, because he's living in like Italy, and he's kind of grown up around like gang members and kind of looks at them as like respectable people. And he's like, oh, that's how I need to, earn my worth. Essentially, I need to rise up in these gangs, but he doesn't want to do like bad gang stuff. Like literally in the first or second episode, there's like a young kid who has like marks on his arms, like he's shooting up drugs. And he's like, ooh, I don't want to be a gang member who sells drugs to kids like that. He's like, I want to take out all those gang members like that. And he kind of wants to build like a posse of other people with his powers. In JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, they have like their stands, which are kind of like every person has one of them. They're almost like a Pokemon, but they're not a Pokemon. They're like almost like an alien, and they have special powers. So he has an ability, and this dude he's talking to has like an ability. It's great. I'm really digging it. It's cool. Also, something that JoJo does, which is fun, is each of their outros is like just a American or Western song. And the one they're using in Part 5 right now is like, I think it's called like Freak You or Freakin' You. And it's just great. It's like this nice, like soulful, like R&B like song about this dude who just wanted to freak people, getting freaky.
Interesting.
I never heard it. It's great. I love it. That's all I really watched, though. Let's talk about games. I got a few things we can talk about here. So first off, you mentioned we were playing Super Mario World. Well, we also played some more Luigi's Mansion 3. That's going great.
Oh, yes.
What did we do? Was this the playthrough where we fought the... Did we do the... Was this... Oh, no. Now I remember. I was going to say... Never mind. This was... In this part, we did like the Egyptian-themed level. What was that?
That's correct.
What was that floor called? I'm forgetting now.
Sandy Sweets or something like that. I forget.
Yeah, and that was really cool. I always dig a good Egyptian style. Also, for people who watch JoJo, there's a big Egyptian element to JoJo. And then also, gosh, what was the second area? I'm trying to remember.
I think that was the magical themed floor.
Right.
The trick rooms and everything. Yeah.
And it's funny because the two levels had this like nice contrast where like the Egyptian desert themed area was like this big open room with, and like it kind of goes into this like pyramid and there's like tombs. And then, yeah, that like magical themed area was like all these little sectional rooms, which kind of all like had their own little thing going on. One of the rooms had like the classic like table where someone saws them in half. There was like a room where like the bed was on the side of the wall. It's great. That game's still, it's fantastic. That game is really, really good. I'm highly enjoying it. Next up, I played some more Animal Crossing. As we all know, this has kind of just become a good seasonal game for me, especially with holiday events. I jumped on there and met our good friend Franklin. If you remember from the last podcast, that's the little turkey who comes to your village and or island, excuse me, and he wants to make some good food for all the residents on your island, and you need to help him by getting various different ingredients. And you can do so by either just gathering them how you would normally. Maybe he wants a certain type of fish. Maybe he wants a certain type of pumpkin. And you can go get those. Or you can actually talk to some of the other villagers who are in their homes. And they also will want a certain type of food item. And you can trade it with them. And sometimes they'll give you the item that Franklin needs. Or they'll give you an item that another villager needs. It was essentially kind of like the Halloween event where it's a lot of like back and forth. But instead, this one was focusing more about like collecting different types of materials, which were like food items. Like you could get mushrooms. I'm trying to think what else there was. You could get different types of fruits, And he makes like these nice like little dishes for the villagers, which don't really do anything but look really good. And when you complete these different tasks for him, he gives you like Thanksgiving Day themed items, and when you complete them all, you get like a bunch of DIYs. That's ones you can make for yourself. But it's pretty good. I'd say I didn't really like it as much as the Halloween event, maybe because I like Halloween more as a holiday, but it was fun. I had a good time with it.
Very nice, very nice.
I also really want to check out that game now because I was just seeing people, because it's December 1st, there's like Christmas decorations now on like the different little homes and like the gift shops and stuff like that, or the shops and the town office in Animal Crossing. So I really want to check that out. Also, this was when I wanted to circle back to with the Koopa Kids. So my girlfriend just randomly over this holiday weekend was like, "Hey, I really wanted to play some Super Mario Sunshine. Do you want to sit down and like watch me play and we can like back and forth it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why not? I love that kind of stuff." So yeah, a couple days ago we sat down and played a little bit of Super Mario Sunshine on the, what's the stupid collection called, the HD or 3D All-Stars collection,
3D All-Stars. Get it right, Corey. Come on.
Whatever. I'm a fake gamer. But yeah, this was my like first experience playing this game. I think I watched like someone Let's Play it. I don't remember if I watched all of it, but I've seen a little bit of Sunshine before. But yeah, that's really like, you can tell like how that was really their next step after Super Mario 64. The flood thing, it's a little weird. I like the jetpack thing, but the part where the water, it's kind of weird. It's like a power up, but it's not a power up. The visuals are amazing. I love how the game looks. Even the version on the Switch looks really cool. It's kind of got this like nice watercolor effect going on all around it. Really nice. Music, Chef's Kiss, so good. I could run around Delfino Plaza all day.
Yeah, it is very good. Koji Kondo, you're a genius.
I think it's very interesting how there's like, cut scenes in the game, like Peach and Toadsworth are like talking.
There's actual voice acting in this game.
Right.
It's not very good, but there's actual voice acting in the game, just kind of crazy.
I had to make some sort of comment. I never really realized that Peach has like a different outfit in this game. It's like white and sleeveless, like her dress is different. Yeah, also, I don't know why she would wear a dress going to a tropical island, but that's just me.
Well, that's why, like, it's supposed to be more of like a like a more vacation-y dress she's wearing. I think even her hair is a little bit different, and even Mario. If you notice, Mario has short sleeves on.
Yeah, but you're telling me he's not hot in those overalls? He should have wore shorts or bathing suit.
I'm pretty sure he is also very hot now. He could wear the bathing suit that he has in Mario Odyssey. I'm pretty sure they had that somewhere in the back of their minds. Like, yeah, we can give Mario a bathing suit and some sunglasses or something.
Also, this is a very specific thing, but something about those dialogue boxes are really weird. Those like 3 blue lines.
Yeah,
that was an interesting choice.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool how they materialize, and I think it's supposed to be almost like sunshine rays. Like that's kind of like what their little like theme is, because like the dialogue boxes are on like an arc or something. It's like 3 little like arced lines.
Yeah,
it's interesting. I mean, I think it's I think it goes very well with the art style. That being just tropical anything, you know.
Also, I'm kind of jumping all around here. We played about like for maybe 2 or 3 hours. I also think it's hilarious how literally at the beginning of the game, like Mario just gets arrested. I'm like, great. What a start to a Mario game. He's going to jail.
I always thought it was kind of funny because like even like when right after he gets arrested and put in jail, like the judge is like that judge should be fired. It's like do you have any evidence? Because we have this 5-year-old's coloring drawing.
It looks like him.
Mario.
It's got the mustache, got the hat.
Yeah. And then the funny thing is, for the very next scene, like, and again, spoiler warning for those who have not played this game yet, and if you haven't, there's something wrong with you. But like, it's like in the very next scene, you're at the plaza, and like you will encounter Shadow Mario again, and you're running around chasing him, and it's like to all the piñatas who like. Are you people seeing this? I clearly didn't do it. Here's the culprit. I'm chasing after him right now. And then if you go and talk to maybe some of the people, they're like, "Oh, you polluted our island." It's like, no, I didn't. It was the blue version of me that's running right in front of you. Stupid people.
Yeah. I don't understand. Honestly, only playing for a few hours, why there's like so much hate around this game. Like. Even with what I was just saying about the like flood mechanics, like it's not really that bad. I was honestly surprised how well Mario controls. He controls just like he does in Super Mario 64.
Yeah, I think he controls incredibly well in this game, and he has some moves that don't make appearances in other games. Like if you actually like spin the control stick in like a circular motion and jump. He'll actually do like a little tornado attack, kind of like the one that you see in Melee, his down A attack.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then if you have the flood on, you'll shoot water like in like a big array and just start spin. It's really interesting. Like there are a lot of those like little details that people don't know about.
I also just love the whole like overworld or hub world of Delfino Plaza. I think it's really cool.
It is very good.
I like their play on like how they did the portraits or how you enter other worlds where there's kind of like those paint smears, you know, and you kind of like vaporize into there. I like how that looks too, like how Mario turns into all those little like different balls of color like paint. I think that's really neat. Yeah. The levels are pretty cool too. That I forget what all the levels are called, but that first world really does remind me of the first level from like Babam Battlefield.
Bianco Hills, yeah, because it's just like the green hills like along a mountainside, you know. And it kind of does remind you a bit of like Babam Battlefield, just being on the outskirts of a mountain, you know. And there's a lot of green. So
my girlfriend just got home and she let me know that's Bianca Hills. That's the level or the world.
Yeah, Bianco Hills. Yeah. Here's a little fun fact: everything in the game is actually in Italian. Like Delfino is actually Italian for dolphin. Bianco Bianco. It looks like Blanco, but it's Bianco, which I believe is Italian for white. The White Hills. A little fun fact for everybody.
There's also a weird obsession with that game with feeding things water. I'm just gonna say I don't love the piranha plant things that you fill them up. It's kind of weird, you know. I don't know if you're familiar with Vor, but it's kind of giving me a Vor vibe.
Can't say I'm aware of that, but
also Bowser Jr. several questions here. First of all, why is he referred to Peach as Mama? What's going on there?
They kind of explain later in the show that that's not really what's going on.
Okay, fair enough.
You'll see. Because I mean, at first you're kind of like what? Like, so did Peach actually sleep with Bowser? Like, I don't understand this.
Right.
And did Peach forget that she gave birth to this thing? That's kind of like my other question. Because she's like, "Oh, Mama, Peach, I'm your mama." It's like, well, you tell us, Peach. Were you in the hospital giving birth to this thing? Like, how do you not know if it's yours or not? Unless Bowser's biology is different and like they slept together and Bowser got pregnant and he gave birth to baby. I'm thinking way too deep into this. So I'm just gonna.
Someone's already writing the fanfic.
Obviously Miyamoto's listening. He's probably writing the next plot for the next Mario game.
All right, and Exhibit B. Why did or how did Bowser Jr. get the paintbrush that EGAD made? What is EGAD helping the enemy?
Maybe.
Also, what happened to EGAD? He made all these things on the GameCube, like the vacuum, the flood, I guess he's still making the different types of vacuums, but is that it? He's just like, oh, I peaked with the polter, whatever it's called.
The poltergust, I think it's called.
Yeah. I didn't know that it had different names, because I know in each different Luigi's Mansion it's technically a different model.
I think it's like Poltergust, and then there's the I think it's like the Poltergust 3000, then the Poltergust 3001, and I don't remember. I think it's called the Poltergust Goo. Is the one in Luigi's Mansion 3. For obvious reasons.
Also, last but not least, it always cracks me up when you get a shine in that game, and the screen is like tilted and just says shine.
Shine.
Like, I'm just like, okay. Shine, yeah. Not even you gotta shine, just shine.
Shine on.
Also, that theme park or amusement park area, really cool. I was getting destroyed during that Bowser mech fight where you first meet Bowser Jr. because I didn't realize that you don't need those missiles to shoot the bullet bills. You just use your water to shoot them.
Yeah. If anything, it kind of gets in the way because as you're trying to. Actually, I'm surprised you got pretty far in the game with Megan. Wow, but yeah, like when you get the water missiles to hit Bowser with, and like a bullet bill comes around, they'll like hit your missile and ruin it, or they'll scare you and you try to get rid of them and you realize, oh, I just wasted another missile. So yeah, that level can be a bit challenging.
Yeah, but with this being my first venture, I'm digging it. I like Super Mario Sunshine. I don't see what the problem is. I know there's also the different, like, I didn't get to any of this, but I remember that you get, like, different nozzles for the flood that give you, like, different, like, variations of the power-ups.
Yep.
But yeah, I didn't get there yet. Yeah, I don't think I have much else to say about that. I also love the, like, oh gosh, what are they called? The Delphine, what are the like, island people called?
The piñatas?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're great. Yeah.
They're pretty funny. There's actually a lot of like cool like new creatures. There's the piñatas. There's the little like the Nokis, the little like hermit crab people. Let's see what else.
There's all the weird like enemies. Like there'll be those things that just spawn out of the paint that are like little gumdrop looking guys.
Yeah, those things are kind of creepy. They almost look like like little gumdrop jellyfish or something. There's
whatever the not Goombas are in this game.
I don't know what they are.
Yeah, they're weird looking.
They are basically, you're right, the not Goombas.
We also fought that the first like gosh, I also forget the name of it. It's like the blooper where you have to pull off the tentacles. That's a weird boss fight too.
I think I think it's just the big blooper. I don't know. There's so many things I can talk about this game because there's so many things that are just so infuriating. I can't wait for you to play the blooper minigame and just realize how horrible horrible that is.
That actually did remind me of another thing. So, you know, playing this game and you get to some of those like interesting like bonus levels or whatever you call them, And like you really get to see like this was them thinking about things like Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario 3D Land, like trying to actually just get that like perfect like 3D platformer where it's kind of just like, oh, here are some platforms just in the middle of nowhere. I mean, they kind of do that in Super Mario 64, but you can kind of see them get that craft really together here in Super Mario Sunshine. And I wanted to say that we did the it's one that you get in the overworld where you jump on those little islands and go down the pipe, and it's like a sliding level where you have to get all the way to the end to get the shine without falling off. Somehow I nailed that on my first try. And all I want to say is when I was walking up to get the shine, I was at the last platform where it's on. It's a very tiny little platform. And I tried to do like the slowest walk/creep I could do with Mario. And my Megan commented, she's like, "Why are you doing that so slow?" And I'm like, you never know. You got to play it safe. I can't tell you how many times I just went full force and Mario just slipped off the edge. And I'm like, well,
yep.
Actually happened in the Let's Play of Super Mario 64. You guys are caught up when I tried to do the invisibility cap level. Anyway,
admittedly, I laughed a lot at your pain.
That's okay. That's what it's there for. Last but not least, and I want to try to wrap this up because I think Megan, she just got home. She probably wants to spend some time with me. But I did want to talk about, I spent some time playing one of the newest, I mean, it probably is the newest Nintendo release, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. So I got a chance to stream this game. I played about 2 hours of it. I kind of wish I put some more time into it because I'm enjoying this game, but I don't love the gameplay. I don't think
really.
I still don't think I'm sold on the Warriors style games where you run around these battlefields and you're like fighting a bunch of different enemies from time to time. I think it's a lot to do with I just don't think the combat feels great. I think each of your like swings don't have enough oomph like in a Platinum action game or a From Software game. They feel very loose and a little weak. But I do enjoy the variety of the characters. In my playthrough, I just got a great sword for Link. I know you can get different weapons for Link, which essentially are just whole different move sets. And that seemed really cool, so I'm sure I'm going to enjoy more of that because I have been enjoying like switching between the limited amount of characters I've got so far. I think that stuff is a lot of fun. And like just the different variety of combos you can do because each character has essentially there's like a light attack and a heavy attack, and you can do like light heavy or light heavy. You know, there's like a bunch of different variations, and depending on your character, they all have different like special things they can do. For example, Link, if you hold the heavy attack after each of your combos, he'll kind of get like another like extended combo after that, which is fun. I really enjoy the air combat in the game. Like it's fun to like when you can do the air combos because it kind of just extends into more combos, which is fun. I also really like I assume this is what they did that's new in this game. By new, I mean they like kind of changed the Warriors style Muso gameplay where like Link, well, actually all the characters can use like the Sheikah Slate and all the different like runes on there. So like you have your bomb rune, you have your ice, you have your stasis, and I'm blanking on what the fourth one is. But all the different characters can use these different abilities, and they're all kind of different depending on what character you use. For example, like if Link uses the bomb one, he'll just like chuck a bunch of bombs for like a few seconds. Whereas if Zelda uses the bomb Sheikah Slate ability, she kind of like summons this like huge bomb spider that will kind of just walk around and like poop out a bunch of bombs until the timer runs out. So I think that's kind of interesting. I haven't played around with all the different characters yet, but I thought that was pretty neat. And
it's the Magnesis is the one you're thinking of.
There you go. Right. And how they kind of add those or intertwine those into the gameplay is when you get to the certain sections of the map, there'll be like these bigger character enemy, or these bigger enemy characters that spawn. I forget the names of them. They might just be called like champion. I forget what it's called. It's like a more tougher enemy. And they all have like clear counters that will play like on the screen over them. So for example, if you want to counter this character with the bomb rune, a big like bomb will show off for a certain amount of time, and then you just cast it. And then when you do so, it'll like break their stamina, and you can go up and do like a devastating blow on them and pretty much kill them.
Neat.
It's fun. I do like exploring the world. You know, it has that beautiful Breath of the Wild style, which it's keeping. Sometimes there are some frame drops, but that's understandable. There's like hundreds of enemies on the screen at one time. It's just, I don't think I love that Muso style of gameplay and like running around the world. Like, I don't know, it's just weird. It feels kind of empty, but at the same time, there is some stuff in there. You can break crates and you'll get like rupees. You know, you're constantly getting items from defeating enemies. You get like ingredients for cooking or upgrading, and you get a bunch of different weapons, which you feed into each other to power them up. I'm trying to think. I'm really enjoying the story. I think that's a good part of the game. So I'm not too far into it. I don't think I'm going to spoil anything. But basically what happens is this little white guardian, who I keep calling Eggbot because he kind of just looks like a little egg. I think he traveled back in time to before like the Calamity happened, and he's kind of like trying to, I think, warn like Zelda and Link and the gang about like what's to come. And he looks like an egg. He's white and blue. He is kind of like a guardian. He's giving me big like BB-8 vibes, because he kind of like, or even like R2, like he kind of whistles to speak. I mean, they don't really know what he's saying. He just makes like little noises, and he kind of like follows you around. So I'm getting like a big, like a droid from like Star Wars, like something like that.
That's kind of cool.
But yeah, I'm enjoying the story. It's pretty interesting. Of course, it's a prequel, so we all know how the outcome is going to be. But I've been liking all the characters and like, you know, how they look at these like characters in the past, like the different like Sheikah technicians. Impa obviously is really cool. Something that they do with the different like story beats, which I don't really love, is they'll have a nice like cutscene where all the models or characters are talking and it's fully voiced and whatnot. But then there's some little interludes where it's just like a screen with just text on the bottom, and like someone will read over it, and then at the top there's just a very like slight visual thing of what's going on, which is usually like the castle, and then they'll show like the different characters in that artwork. That's kind of like how the Sheikah like depicted the Great Calamity, where it's like Link in front of Ganon and Zelda's behind her, and there's all those guardians around there. I don't know if people know what I'm referring to, but it's kind of that like Sheikah art. Like I don't know. It's just the way that I don't understand why they couldn't have done the whole thing in just cutscenes. Like, it's kind of weird to me that they have to have these like little in-betweens where it's like, oh, Link and Zelda went to this place to meet this character. It's like, well, couldn't they have just shown that? Like, I don't know. It's just, I scratch my head at that. Like, it's kind of weird. I do really like how they do the overworld. So, in the first level, where this Eggbot comes from, he like sprouts out of a tower, and that's like the only tower in Hyrule right now. And basically Link will climb up there, and then he opens his Sheikah slate to reveal the whole map. And you kind of go from section to section to check off all your little boxes, whether you're going to do like a main quest or you're going to do like little side missions, or there's even like, I don't know what I'd call these. They're not really quests. Like, you don't do anything in the quest. It's just, do you have these items? Yes. Then you completed the quest. No. Then come back when you have them. And they're usually just like upgrades to your characters. So like, oh, if you get these items, Link will gain 1 extra heart. Or, oh, if you gain these items, Impa will gain like an extra combo or something like that. And you also get like different things in the overworld. Like, I recently unlocked like 2 different things for training. You unlock a bunch of different shops, which you can spend rubies on to get the different ingredients for your upgrade materials. There's a blacksmith where you can sell weapons or like feed the weapons into each other.
Interesting.
Overall, I'd say I'm liking it a lot. I wouldn't say I'm loving it because, like I said, I don't think I love that Muso style of gameplay. I do think once I play more and get to experience more characters and maybe some more different weapons with Link, I'll enjoy that because right at the end of my play session, like I said, I got the greatsword, but I also unlocked my first champion, which was Urbosa, and she is really neat. So each of the characters have like their own little gimmick, and her thing is like she has like a meter with like thunder jolts, and she can like extend all her different like heavy attacks. So she has one where I think it's like light, heavy, and you can kind of just keep mashing after you do that, the heavy attack, and she'll kind of keep doing these like big like slashes forward until her like charge bar depletes essentially. And then she has like another one where I think it's like 3 lights and a heavy, where she kind of just shoots out this big jolt of lightning and you kind of aim it around you. And again, once your meter depletes, then it like bursts and all the enemies will die or take damage. But I thought she seemed pretty cool. And like I said, I think those type of like gimmicky like things is what's gonna keep me coming back. And same thing with the story. And I am really enjoying what they're doing with the characters in here. I got a little taste of that new villain that they introduced, and I think that character seems pretty interesting. So overall, I think I'm liking it.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely am meaning to play this game. So I kind of the biggest thing is, yeah, I agree. The Muso style is not for me. I kind of got used to it when I was first playing the original Hyrule Warriors. So I'm sure I'll get into it, and you know, I'll get into it and I'll enjoy it for the most part. But yeah, I definitely want to get into the story. I want to see who this new villain is. I keep seeing all these teasers about him, so I don't want to spoil it. But I do want to see what's going on. I do want to get. I'm just more about that lore. So I mean, yes, I'll enjoy the gameplay, but I want to see that lore. So hopefully, I'll get that game sooner rather than later.
Yeah, man. And that's all I got. That was my week.
All right.
So, wrapping up the podcast here, our last segment, we usually like to check out some questions that our listeners send in. And if you want to do that, there are 2 ways. You can send in an email to levelwithmepodcast@gmail.com, or you can go to our Instagram, levelwithmepodcast, and then usually the day before, or the day of, we'll have like a little, like you can submit a question, and if the question is good enough, we'll read it on air and you'll get a shout out. And I checked the Gmail, and go figure, nothing. How about the Instagram?
We actually have 4 questions to read today.
Oh boy. Okay.
I know. I feel bad because you wanted to maybe wrap it up because Megan's home, but
okay.
Tell Megan to put her in her place and say, "Wait your turn."
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So let me see which one we can read first. Boo. How about here we go. This is coming from Gamer Delphia on Instagram. I believe they are a gaming channel located in Philadelphia, which is pretty cool. And the question is that do we think the nominees for this year's Game Awards are the most controversial? I think he asked specifically, is it super obvious, for example, that The Last of Us will win?
I'm going to pull up the nominees again here.
Yeah, because I can't think of all of them either. I remember we talked about this last week, but I don't remember all of them.
Oh, go on.
No, I was going to say, yeah, so the list would be helpful to see what they all are.
So I'll just read them quick. It's for Game of the Year: Animal Crossing New Horizons, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and The Last of Us Part 2. And what was his question? Their question.
I think it's like he said, do we think that these nominees are controversial?
And then you said, like, he was alluding that Last of Us Part 2 is probably just going to win.
Yeah. And it's funny, I would say that the biggest controversy right now is between The Last of Us, the people who hate and love it, and then also even Final Fantasy. I mean, I've heard pretty positive reviews across the board, but I think I did hear that there were some naysayers saying the game's pretty like it's. I think they were upset that it wasn't like the full game. It's just like the Midgar chapter. So
well, that I feel like that one's more of a blame on Square they kind of did that thing where they didn't actually say part 1, which I kind of hate when companies do that.
Yeah.
So there's a little blame on that.
Yeah, the Final Fantasy VII remake, and it's like, oh, this is not a full remake. But
right. They didn't like say to the casual audience, hey, this is part 1, but a lot of people in the industry were kind of like, they were already saying like, yeah, we're gonna have multiple parts. This is just gonna be mostly Midgar. I did not hear any negativity towards that game though. I heard it was very well received, and they fleshed out Midgar a lot apparently.
Yeah, like I heard, like that was the thing. Like, the game is there's so much to the game because it was fleshed out so much, and like, there's so much more to do in the city. But again, I would say the more controversial thing is regarding The Last of Us. And I guess to better answer this question is like if really compare it to last year, because there was a lot of controversy surrounding Death Stranding, you know.
Well, then Sekiro won, right? Game of the Year.
Yes, Sekiro did win, which I hear it was very deserving of it. But this year, I mean, Last of Us. I mean, you play Last of Us. I haven't played it yet. I've only been watching you playing it. And I've seen some other like little like things about it. So the game looks like it's great. I mean, yeah, maybe it's not perfect, but would you think that like do you think that game is deserving of being nominated for Game of the Year?
I mean, I'll say that I didn't complete Last of Us Part 2.
That's true.
I did get pretty far, but I feel like I can't judge the game completely because of that. But I mean, fair enough. I mean, personally, I see nothing wrong with it. I see that it can be a nominee. I don't think it's honestly going to win. In my opinion, I wouldn't see it just winning outright. I personally think Animal Crossing is going to win. I think that game has had a huge success, in my opinion. Granted, it doesn't have the story and like, you know, like it's really hard to actually compare like a game like Last of Us Part 2 to Animal Crossing New Horizons. They're like totally different things, you know?
Yeah,
like what are we really doing at the end of the day with Game Awards, you know? But I don't know. Like I understand where was it Gamerdelphia or Gameadelphia?
Gamerdelphia.
Where they're coming from, because there was a lot of controversy when the ending and stuff like from Last of Us Part 2 got leaked. I think just people didn't like maybe where the characters went. I don't know about the leak. I didn't look it up. Maybe it's something that happens at the end. From what I played, though, I enjoyed Last of Us Part 2. It was a lot like Last of Us Part 1, but just like extending that like story. But I thought it was done pretty well. I guess at the end of the day, though, I don't know who's going to win. Any of these games could win. I thought a lot of the way they do these nominees, I thought they take a lot of like what's the word I'm looking for, that like people at like video game websites actually vote for this stuff, and they're kind of like the big like impact, or they're where most of the votes go. That's what I'm trying to say. So like IGN and Giant Bomb and GameSpot, these are sites that'll vote and be the big contributors to who's going to win here. And I'm going to be honest, like, I don't even think a lot of those people would probably pick Last of Us Part 2, because a lot of people were very indifferent about that game.
Fair enough.
I'll just say I hope Animal Crossing wins. That's my game of the year, personally. But yeah,
I would say for its impressive sales numbers, I think it might win Game of the Year. It's probably going to win the Family Game of the Year, hands down, but like, or the best family game. But like, Game of the Year, I wouldn't be surprised. I would be surprised, but I would understand it, because the game is just that successful, you know?
That was a good question, though. Thank you, Gamerdelphia.
Yeah, thank you very much, Gamerdelphia. We appreciate that. Okay, moving on to the next question. This is coming from the GameCube Pod on Instagram. And their question is actually pretty interesting. Let's see. Oh, sorry, I'm reading through his little message here. Favorite GameCube game that was not published by Nintendo. What is our favorite GameCube game not published by Nintendo? The GameCube Pod mentions like, yeah, everyone loves, you know, like the Zelda, the Wind Waker, and Metroid Prime, Melee. But what about the Nintendo games on the GameCube specifically that were not published by Nintendo? And I'll be honest, I might have to double check and make sure I don't talk out of my butt here, because I want to. Let me see. Nintendo games. Oh, I have to cheat here. I'm so very sorry. Nintendo games on GameCube not published by Nintendo.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm also cheating and looking up a list.
Yeah,
I will say,
I know. I'm pretty sure I'll think of a game that I'm like, oh no, that was by Nintendo, so I just won't know.
I'm gonna be honest, and I pull up my fake gamer card here, but I didn't really play a lot of games on the GameCube. I play, I think, more like PlayStation 2 games around that era. But
oh, boo!
But I will say, I've yet to play Resident Evil 4, but I hear it's good, and I'd probably like it because I like Resident Evil 4 a lot, so that might be my choice. But I'm going to look through here. Oh, I actually have a good one, speaking of Capcom, and I actually played this game. I really loved Beautiful Joe.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. I enjoy... I think there might have been 2. I think I played the first one a decent amount. I did like those games. I'm also just scrolling through here to see if anything else pops out.
Yeah, I do have a few. Again, these are unfortunately not exclusives, but like these are games I did play on the GameCube, and I really enjoyed them on the GameCube. Were some of the first-person shooter games. Like I had a James Bond game that I loved. I think it was called Agent Under Fire, and I want to say that was done by EA. I could be wrong. And there was also like the Call of Duty games. Like I'm sorry, not Call of Duty. It was the Medal of Honor games. They were the ones I really enjoyed.
Yeah,
they were fun. Good. Again, I feel bad because I think that they reported they were on other systems. I think they were on the PS2 and the Xbox as well. So maybe that's kind of like cheating. I don't know. I'm trying to look through. I know there's been a couple of games I played that were not done by. I guess technically some of the Sonic games are on there. They were done by Sega. But again, I'm not a big modern Sonic fan, so I don't know if that counts.
Oh, I just had one in my mind. Now I just lost it. I gotta scroll through this list again.
I will say Resident Evil 4 was probably the best one, because that game was insane. And then that obviously was built by Capcom. And yes, the funny thing is, that game was initially intended only for the GameCube, but then they obviously branched out because they wanted, to sell more games. I can completely understand that. But yeah, it looks like I'm probably gonna have to say the Resident Evil 4. Oh, here's one that I played on my GameCube. The Simpsons Hit and Run. Again, a game that was ported to all 3 systems, I believe. But that game was incredible. Dude, I loved that game. Oh, my God.
Dude, I just found a winner. Soul Calibur 2.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Oh, I actually never even played the GameCube one, which has Link in it. I always played the PS2 one, but that is a hell of a game. That's a good fighter.
Nice. I did not even think about that one. Oh, and how can we forget Super Monkey Ball? I'll take that back.
I'm seeing a lot of games I know are good that I've never played. Like a lot of the Tony Hawk games are on here. I know people liked a couple of those old ones.
Yeah. I guess I might have to just take the easy way out and say that personally for me it was probably Resident Evil 4.
Okay, this is not going to be time to get to some like janky answers here. But I played a lot of like anime games on the GameCube. I liked some of those like Naruto like fighting games. I'm seeing here some of the Zatch Bell fighting games were good. Momoto Battles is what it's called. That one was fun. Also, randomly enough, there's a Billy and Mandy game, like the Cartoon Network animated show that was on GameCube that was like a 3D like brawler game, like top down, and it was a lot of fun.
Interesting.
Yeah, weirdly enough.
All right.
That's a good question, though. Thank you, the GameCube Pod.
The GameCube Pod. Thank you very much. That was a good one. All right, 2 more to go. Here we go. This one comes from Mikey Loves Retro on Instagram. And this is a pretty nice, easy, I think a relatively easy question. What do you play video games... Wait, I'm sorry. Why do you play video games, and what genre do you usually play?
I mean, quite honestly, I play video games because I think they're a lot of fun. I just kind of enjoy the escapism of them. I like being transported into some sort of like fictional reality world. I also honestly just like the competition aspect of a lot of, multiplayer games. There's a reason I play so much like Call of Duty and Super Smash Brothers online. I think it's a lot of fun. Even just playing like co-op games or party games with friends are a lot of fun. I just love the whole like medium of video games or whatever you want to call it. I just think video games are super neat.
No, I agree. I might have to chime in and just say I definitely agree. It's the escapism, just being able to turn my brain off and just like kind of like just get lost in that world, whether it's a Zelda game or a first person shooter or whatever. Like even the 2D, like all those games. I especially like it when it comes to games like I would say Breath of the Wild or like the Elder Scroll games, where I just get sucked into this world and I'm just in there. Like I kind of just zone out and I get immersed in that world. That's kind of the main reason why I like them.
Oh yeah.
And I guess for the more casual game, like the old school games, I think I still do kind of just turn my brain off and just play. And I like the challenge of playing the game. I think it's just overall fun.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And what was it? Oh yeah. And which genre do we usually play? I'm sorry, Corey. Were you gonna continue on with that? I'm sorry.
I was honestly just gonna ask you what the second part was because I forgot already.
Yeah, it was. What genre do we usually play?
Huh. I mean, I play a lot of different types of genres. If I would have to pick like two in particular, I'd say I play a lot of like, I don't know if you want to call them like open world games, but like stuff like that, like open world RPGs. Yeah, like I don't know how to describe that. Like a lot of the AAA like PlayStation stuff, most of the first party Nintendo games. Yeah, I really enjoy like a lot of like Souls like games or anything from Software. And also just I enjoy a lot of first person shooters, whether they be multiplayer or single player focused.
Oh, I can agree with that. Yeah, I mean, I've always been a fan of the 2D platform games. I love my Metroidvania games, but honestly, I think we kind of talked about this before when we were talking about like the game that we would play for the rest of our lives. I would have to go with the game that is definitely like the 3D person exploration games or the 3D like open world like games where you just just go and do whatever you want, because they're the games that really just suck me into it. Like they are just the most immersive, the ones I spend the most time on. So I would have to say that's probably like the best genre for me. I love my 2D platformers, my 2D platformers and my Metroidvanias, but yeah, the third person open world games, they're always like the best ones for me. So yeah, thank you very much, Mikey Loves Retro. That was a very good question.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and now finally, let's finish up with the number one fan of the Level With Me podcast, Owen Reese.
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
Yeah, I saved him for last. And it's funny, we can kind of roll into this because we kind of were mentioning this in the previous question. Owen asks, what is the most amount of time we have ever put into a video game?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah. And I can probably just straight up say, like, again, like when it comes to like my favorite classic old retro games, like, I've played those countless times, but I think that still doesn't really add up to the amount of hours I've put into like games like Fallout or games like the Elder Scrolls, games like Zelda Breath of the Wild. Like I just put countless replayable hours into those games. Like I would say for me, again, I'm sure some people can say like the true hardcore gamers can probably say like, oh, I put like 1,000 hours into this game, and which is insane. But like, I'm sure if they have the time to do it, that's awesome. I can probably say like if I put over 100 hours into a game, that's like a lot from someone like me. And so that's probably like my benchmark. Like I'm sure there has been some games where I put over like 100 hours, and that's like the most I've ever done. How about you, Corey?
I've put in. Is that a word? Puttin'?
It's a dessert that you eat,
Oh yes,
pudding.
I love some chocolate pudding, maybe a little tapioca pudding, rice pudding. Oh, yeah. But anyways, I put a lot of hours. Off the top of my head, a lot of them were like multiplayer first-person shooter games. Like back in the day, I used to play a lot of like the Call of Duties on the Xbox 360s and Halo and Gears of War and stuff like that. Honestly, though, what might be the game with my most amount of hours, I mean, it's just a series though. Like the Super Smash Brothers series, I put a lot of hours into.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I would say at a minimum at about like 100 in each of them, a maximum of about like 300 to 400 hours. Like for example, the Super Smash Brothers for Wii U, I definitely have at least 400 to 5 hours. The newest one, Ultimate, maybe I'm almost about there too, because honestly, my game clock on the Switch, I think, is close to 300. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm afraid you put me to shame there. You kind of just, you kind of made
I
it seem
play
like
a lot of games. I play a lot of games.
100 hours. That's nothing compared to what I can do.
Especially like multiplayer games, I get in a really like comfortable groove with them. Like sometimes I could just play and like 2 to 3 hours just go by like nothing.
No, I hear you. It happens to me plenty of times.
But yeah, thank you for the question, Owen. That was a good one.
Yes, Owen. Once again, thank you very much. And although I'm very happy we had 4 questions today, that's like a new record for us. I'm afraid that's all we have today, guys.
Hey, but thank you to all the Instagrammers who gave us those questions. That's Gamer Delphia, the GameCube Pod, Mikey Loves Retro, and Owen Reese. Give them a follow. Their names will be in the description below. Thank you, guys. But that's it. That's the podcast. We defeated another week in 2020. We're moving on out. It's December 1st already. Can you believe it?
Only a few more weeks in 2020 will finally be over.
Guys, if you want to give me a follow, you can hit me up on twitch.tv/GameBroCorey, as well as Twitter and Instagram, GameBroCorey. I will most likely be streaming more Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity over the next few days, so check that out. I don't really have a schedule planned. I would just say give my Instagram a follow and my Twitter. I'll usually like update people on there. What about you, Mike?
If you guys want to find me, you can go to your local Taco Bell. I'll be sitting in the corner crying with a Mountain Dew in my hand and a taco in the other.
It better be a Baja Blast.
Why else am I going to Taco Bell?
Okay.
But now, if you guys want to find me, you can find me on YouTube and on Instagram at The Collector's Vault. Again, we'll have all that linked down below. If you guys like, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, anything collectible, sports memorabilia, retro video games, come to me, and I'd love to talk to you guys about that kind of stuff. And obviously, I'm on Instagram, and I'm always posting like little a couple of memes here and there, but also talking about the local collectible card market. It's all very exciting stuff. And yeah, I think that's all I have for now.
And of course, speaking of Pokemon, you guys should go check out my friend's channel, Loudstone Entertainment. I'm still doing a playthrough of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu with Abra Gaming, and I know he's slowly uploading bits over their channel, but please go support them and check that out. Also, though, you want to check out our channel as well, our Level With Me YouTube channel. We are going to continue to do a nice flow of content. We have a lot of Let's Plays going on right now. Luigi's Mansion 3, Super Mario World, Remnant from the Ashes, Super Mario 64, and Legend of Zelda, The Minish Cap. We also don't really have a schedule, but various episodes will go up live on there. So give that a subscribe.
Yes, please do, guys. Because and please share with your friends. We want the channel to grow. We want to entertain as many people as possible. So
Mike, we started low energy. Now I'm like nice and excited. There's a lot of good talk. I really had to use my brain and wake up. Now I don't know, man. I'm probably just gonna be up till like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. on a Tuesday night.
Maybe that must be nice. I don't know if I'll be able to stay up for another half an hour.
Oh, no, it's not nice, because then I would go into work tomorrow with no sleep and be a zombie.
Mm-hmm. And then you're going to be like, darn it, Mike, why did I do a podcast with you? And why did you make me use my brain and stay up all night?
Yeah, man. I don't want to use this thing in my head. I just want to turn it off and shove Cheez-Its in my mouth.
Yeah, or maybe some meatball pizza while I play some Super Smash Brothers Smash Ultimate. Yeah.
That sounds like a great evening.
Don't tempt me with a good time there, Corey.
All right. See you guys next week.
See you guys.